Hello, and welcome back to the Mystery Theory. This is an exclusive for Patreon video. This, I think, is my 6th attempt at recording the audio, so I'm a bit frustrated. My husband is doing something outside. I begged him to be quiet, but we live in an area where it rains a lot, and once it starts raining, it won't stop. Today is a beautiful sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. And us Oregonians now are just so eager to be doing something outside. We're all checking the weather, making sure no rain is coming soon, prepping things, and my husband is home and of course doing random things outside. My dogs, as always, are screaming their heads off because they know I'm recording. So if you hate background noise, maybe this is not the video for you. But if you don't mind, then I hope you enjoy today's case. I started with a whisper, and then I figured the background noise could have been a little bit overwhelming if whispered. So I switched in this attempt to do a soft spoken. Tonight I'm going to share not only a real live monster for our series Halloween / October, but I'm also sharing a Halloween related case. Just so you know, this involves such a weird concept of letters sent to people, information about each one of them, asking for money. Well, in the end, you'll understand why people believe that an entire town was targeted. Some believe it was a hoax, and others believe it was something more sinister. Now, it all started on Halloween night, 1988. Someone had mailed at least 63 letters to residents in Lancaster, California. The sender threatened to poison the recipients along with their entire families if they didn't send the money requested. The letters contained personal information about recipients and their private affairs. They were all typed and printed on regular computer paper. The pages were stapled together and included a rubber stamp impression reading "Confidential." Part of the letter said, quote, "The police cannot protect you every minute of the day, month, and year. If you decide not to pay, we'll blow your brains out." Now, for somebody that is threatening to poison these people, the blowing your brains out part of the story, it's really, I thought sounded very immature. I feel like that is something a 5-year-old would say. Talking about a video game or, But let me tell you about the people that received these letters. One was Aileen Malucio, who was told to send $300,000 in 10s and 20s to 5 different locations. They were all local Lancaster addresses, and as I mentioned, the sender knew personal information about each person that they sent a letter to. For Aileen, they claimed they knew that her husband had not died from a heart attack, but poison. They threatened they would do the same to her by poisoning her toothpaste and sprinkling mustard gas in her home, killing her children. Lovely. They also threatened that they had contracts out on their lives if they didn't send the money. Again, it wasn't just threatening the person's life, but also their loved ones. They also claim to be a part of a group of 2,000 people. Another guy that received a letter was Larry Burso, who was a local contractor. He was asked to send $200,000 or that he would die. He was also given local addresses where to send the money. Police not only collected the original letters, but they also tracked the addresses you were to send the money to. They had this elaborate spreadsheet that looked like a pyramid scheme of some kind, where recipients 1 through 5 send their cash to letter recipients 6 to 10. And then it went on and on. If everyone sent the money, it would then start funneling back to the original letter receivers. It was an elaborate chain letter system the writers had created, which, by the way, did work because some people started sending the money. Whether they were scared of what this person or people would do or say about them, or they fear for their lives. Police tried to figure out the connection, but it didn't seem to have one. No one person was getting all the money, and no pattern emerged in how the sender knew so much information about all the targets. When they reviewed the letters, it was clear that they were all sent by the same sender. The language was similar, including obscenities, same grammar and spelling issues. And as I mentioned, the sender had printed the letters, stapled them, and folded them up, printing the address on the outside and mailing them without an envelope. All of the letters had been postmarked in Mojave. This is a town only 25 miles from Lancaster. They had been dropped off Halloween night since they were processed and stamped on November 1st, 1988. As you can imagine, the whole town was living in fear. The authorities had no leads. This was everywhere. All the local stations, and even it got to be popular in a station in Las Vegas. Now, a week before the letters arrived, Lancaster lost 2 of its residents, Roman and Richard. they had moved to Las Vegas. And this is something that police was interested in because it would only make sense that the person that sent the letters was out of the area. Police got a warrant and they found a letter written by Roman that matched the style sent to the Lancaster residence. My notebook is about to fall. There we go. Now, Roman and Richard were sent back to California and charged with extortion. They were found guilty and sentenced to 4 years in prison. Of course, they have since been released. But you're wondering, is that the end? Well, in a twist of strange, Lancaster, California would be home of another hoax, or what they consider a hoax, in 2019. It all started when a rookie sheriff's deputy claimed he was shot twice by a sniper outside the sheriff's station. Deputy Angel Reynosa, who was 21, said he was ambushed and shot as he tried to flee to safety. His attack resulted in the town being on lockdown. Deputies searched the area for the shooters. SWAT team surrounded the apartment building that the deputy pointed out. They dragged the residents out and interrogate each one. This was a disaster. The school was on lockdown. Kids and parents were scared and separated. Helicopters circled the town. An armored vehicle stopped every car trying to enter or exit Lancaster. Despite their best efforts, after over 24 hours of searching, they couldn't locate the shooter or the gun. That is when they started investigating this rookie. He said that he came under fire, being shot twice. Once in his bulletproof vest, and was also grazed in the shoulder by another round. Except there were no bullets, not in his vest or on the ground. At the hospital, no injuries were located on his body. After all that effort looking for the shooter, the chaos that took place because of this search. Eventually, Deputy Reynosa admitted he had not been shot, but had used a knife to cut 2 holes in his shirt and came up with a sniper story. He gave no reason, though. No explanation of why he did it. His fellow deputies had a theory. He was not doing great with his rookie training. So not only he lied about snipers and being shot, but it turns out he threw the blame on the apartment building by the police station. Who lived in that apartment complex makes this even worse. Apparently, home in this apartment complex was the home of people suffering from mental illness. But they were getting helped. So, as you can imagine, as they were searching and running in circles after this big lie, all these people that lived in that apartment complex were interrogated. Their lives were thrown upside down by a guy who made up a crazy story because he wasn't excelling at work. The stress that this caused to an entire town was really unexplainable. Kids and parents and families divided, separated for their daily activities. It makes you wonder why this kind of thing happened twice in one place. Sometimes people use Halloween as an excuse to start something scary. We hear it on the news the day after Halloween. Not only the accidents of cars running over teenagers wearing scream costumes, but also, the different little stories of people trying to scare others. And some of the ways is hanging a looking real kind of body from a tree, looking like it's hanging, and people calling police. Some others send letters and threaten to share personal information that will affect them with the rest of the town. Others make up stories. I think in the end it's safe to say that Halloween and all these crazy stories that we hear happen around or on Halloween are not as scary as how us humans can be scary. We are so scared of our own demons, the ones that haunt us, and we don't even recognize. Sometimes we do things we regret, and we don't want other people to know we made a mistake. Sometimes the mistake is really bad one. Sometimes that mistake is a really illegal kind. But in this case, the monsters that really not only spent money and resources looking for their people responsible for them, but it kind of shows us that fear, it's sometimes can be the worst kind of monster. Fear of failing at work and being judged by your peers, feeling like you can't do it. I can totally relate with that feeling when you think somebody's gonna say something about you that other people don't know. I would be a hypocrite if I sat here and said, my life is an open book. I can tell you there are more than, I'd say, one thing I don't share with people. There are, and now I can think of two. They're part of my past, and I don't see the benefit of bringing it up and sharing it with those around me. Some people say it's because I like to be mysterious and keep things to myself. Other people blame the month when I was born, and I'm a Scorpio. The people say that Scorpios are very secretive and very manipulative and very, they don't say many good things about us, but I just think that if there is something to learn from my mistakes, I like to share them. But if it hurts every time I think about it, if every time I talk about it brings horrible feelings that I can't shake, then those are the things I don't want to talk about. And of course, somebody's grabbing a wheelbarrow by me. Welcome to my life. But as I was saying, I can only imagine that if somebody would send me a letter, knowing those two things, I can think about my life. I don't want people to know. It would start this reaction that most of these people had. I can also relate to that rookie deputy. I've had many jobs, and some that I absolutely hated. And I only stayed for until I could find something I can do instead. But what he did to himself, it's very well known as self-sabotage. He sabotaged himself, his job. But I guess we all do in different ways. In this case, I think the monster is fear. And some really twisted, messed up people who thought they would come up with something and get away with it. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I didn't stir anything that makes you feel sad, maybe about your past, if you put yourself in these people's shoes. It's not my intention. But as always, it would be a little bit hypocritical of me to sit here and judge the 63 people that were threatened with some of the things they never wanted people to know. I think us humans need to learn that it's not our place to share things about others. I despise gossip. I despise people that gossip. I just think that each person is the owner of their own experiences and life, and that they are the only ones who have the right. So, I'm gonna say goodbye to you today, and I'm going to be filming or recording another case tomorrow, Sunday afternoon. So you'll have a new case in a couple of days. Thank you so much for being here today. I hope that you're enjoying the beginning of fall. And I'll whisper next